All right, those, of course, were the images that have been released by the Israeli Air Force of its aircraft fighter jets taking off before they carried out the strikes that we witnessed earlier this morning, where the Israeli fighter jets were seen taking off from its bases earlier this morning before launching a wave of bombings on Iran. Now, according to the IDF, the Israeli and the American attacks this morning struck hundreds of military targets across Iran, including bases, missile launchers, and also the offices of the senior Iranian officials. And my colleague Susan Tehrani is with us from New York. Susan, a little while back we were talking about this war that has now been started. Donald Trump, all through his campaigning days, had said that he was opposed to any American involvement in these foreign forever wars. His slogan was MAGA, that is, Make America Great Again, by focusing the energy and the resources of the American people within the state of America to make America great again. Is this war going to be seen as a sort of a betrayal by Donald Trump's followers, or will they back the president in the war that has been initiated?
So, it's too early to tell whether or not America is going to be dragged into another forever war when it comes to Iran. I understand that people like to draw parallels between Afghanistan and Iraq, but President Trump's message has usually been peace through strength. That might have been misrepresented or misunderstood as President Trump having an isolationist foreign policy. Well, it's very clear that he does not have an isolationist foreign policy. He didn't have it in his first term and definitely not in his second term. From what we've seen from past experiences on when the United States gets involved in skirmishes like this, the president and the White House prefers to be in and out as soon as possible. It's hard to imagine that when President Trump was briefed regarding this attack against Iran, that there was a possibility that there would be boots on the ground, that the United States would be dragged into a prolonged war with Iran or even some of its proxies. If there was an indication like that, it's just very unlikely that the president would launch these attacks. And perhaps that's why he waited this long to get that assurance. Again, anything could happen. This is a very, very unpredictable situation we're in, especially if Iran decides to do anything in the Strait of Hormuz. But for now, what we have seen is that the retaliation from Iran, and again, this could change, has been somewhat limited. For example, Israel's Iron Dome hasn't been overwhelmed, at least for now. So if the United States is able to take out key installations that are related to Iran's ballistic missile program or Iran's nuclear program, and come out, and this doesn't drag on for months and years, then this would be considered a success. Remember, no one is talking about Venezuela right now, and it's hard to imagine that the Venezuelan leader and his wife are in a New York jail. So, it seems that this is the preference of President Trump. Whether or not it'll pan out that way, again, is yet to be seen, and what Iran decides to do in terms of retaliation. But his policy, I think, has always been peace through strength. And I think that's very different from President Trump having a solely isolationist policy when it comes to at least foreign issues.
I think that's an important point that you made, peace through strength. But how will this play out and how long this war will go on will determine as to what the consequences are and as to how the American public will, of course, see this. Let me bring in Yusuf Jalali, who is live from Tehran. Yusuf, quickly, because we're short of time, at this moment, tell us what the mood is like within Iran about what has unfolded since this morning.
Of course, among the public have been, of course, concerned about their safety. And the Iranians, of course, have learned the lessons from the June strikes, the June war, which led to some mass exodus from the capital, Tehran. But of course, right now, despite the fact that they are panicked because they see plumes of smoke rising from the capital, Tehran, and this is a very shocking scene to watch from their homes. So this is the state right now. But of course, when it comes to the result or the outcome of this war, nobody knows. For now, Iran has not shown a very strong response. We have been hearing reports that Iran has been launching some missiles towards Israel and towards some U.S. bases in the region. And of course, its naval assets in the Persian Gulf and close to the Sea of Oman. But right now, nothing serious has been happened on the part of Iran. We just heard that the Iranian Navy has been able to hit the U.S. MST combat support vessel using some missiles launched from its southern coastline. And then the Iranian Navy has warned that other American assets are within reach and could be struck anytime soon, but nothing serious so far.
All right. So it has been a very measured response by the Iranians. At this moment, the situation is extremely fluid. Thank you very much indeed to both Yusuf Jalali and Susan Tehrani for joining us on this broadcast. We'll continue tracking the developments unfold. But for now, though, we're slipping to a short break. Do stay tuned to WION.